In the following, you're going to hear a statement from Queen Elizabeth II. Now, before you click away, listen to the brief recording. It's a little over a minute in length. This isn't a video about the Queen, but about what she said. In essence, stating that because her father died so young, she didn't have the luxury of being apprenticed, or fully taught, or instructed, in being the governing monarch, or head of an entire country, and responsible for all the people in it. But there she was, 27 years old, and the Queen of England. What we want you to key in on is her mentioning a deeper meaning and purpose to life, maturing and growing up into this something, and the continuity of fate. Just listen.
In a way, I didn't have an apprenticeship. My father died much too young. It was all a very sudden kind of taking on and making the best job you can. Each day is a new beginning. I know that the only way to live my life is to try to do what is right, to take the long view, to give of my best in all that the day brings, and to put my trust in God. Whether we believe in God or not, I think most of us have a sense of the spiritual. That recognition of a deeper meaning and purpose in our lives. And I believe that this sense flourishes despite the pressures of our world. It's a question of maturing into something that one's got used to doing, and accepting the fact that here you are and it's your fate. Because I think continuity is very important. It is a job for life.
This is one of the most striking statements I've heard in a long time. Accepting your situation. Not moaning or groaning, why me? Not I'm scared, I can't do this. No, why should I commit to the road when I can't see what lies waiting around the bend? Instead, the Queen is talking about embarking on the road because there's really no other choice about the thing. It's about growing up and putting childish things behind you and recognizing that, whether you're ready or not, here it comes. Here comes life and all the entanglements that are wrapped up around it. Because it's your fate. And just what is fate? Well, if you paid attention to what the Queen said regarding herself and her situation, fate is a predetermined or inevitable course of events that shape a person's life. What this is suggesting is that certain outcomes, experiences, and circumstances that happen to us throughout the course of our lives are predestined and beyond our direct control. Now let me interject here, sisters. We are most definitely not saying that something terrible happening to you is your fault, or God's fault, or that it was your fate. What we're talking about is the normal, natural course of life. We're talking about the journey of it, starting at point A and ending at point Z. We're talking about the kaleidoscope and the twists and turns that eventually becomes, in your ripe old age, the tapestry of your life and existence. The idea of fate is an idea that there's this larger, overarching plan, or design, at play in our lives, and our individual choices and actions are influenced, or guided, by this predetermined path, called fate. It implies that there is a continuity to the events and outcomes we encounter, as they are interconnected, and part of a greater narrative that's being worked out, this greater narrative encompassing us and our lives. Queen Elizabeth mentioned continuity, remember? What did she say? She said this: it's a question of maturing into something that one's got used to doing, and accepting the fact that there you are and it's your fate. Because I think continuity is very important. It is a job for life. Now that's striking. I literally felt chill bumps during that 1-minute clip of speech. Continuity is important. It's a job for life. Goodness gracious. Then what is this continuity? Let's start by looking at us and our lives through the lens of Queen Elizabeth's perspective on her life. Now stay with me, sisters, because there's a larger picture we want you to grasp concerning you. Now, taking in the concept of fate means acknowledging that our lives are influenced by factors beyond our immediate control, such as external circumstances, societal structures, gender and ethnicity, living in the city as opposed to a farm or village, even the belief in a higher power. Now, how does continuity work itself into this? The continuity of fate involves recognizing and embracing the circumstances we find ourselves in and seeking meaning or purpose within that framework. I.e., the queen losing her father, her having to take the throne, and her having to rule. Ready or not? Can't you see, sisters, that the meaning of fate, in this context, the context of continuity, explores how everything interconnects everything? The events that occur in our lives, the challenges, and the external forces that are unplanned and unexpected, but they happen, all have an impact. And like the queen, who accepted her fate, if you will, ready or not, because she was following the continuity of her life. And this is key. So please, hear this, because this is for you, my sister, and that's this: accepting the continuity of fate can shape your perception of your life's journey, and thus impact and influence the choices you make along the way. On this journey, just mull that over. The continuity of fate involves recognizing and embracing the circumstances we find ourselves in, and not bailing at the discomfort, but rather digging in, seeking meaning and purpose within the framework of what we're going through, coming to the understanding that one's life journey is not simply impacted in the moment, but potentially shaped by that very moment, and then going farther, to determine and impact how we make the future choices in our lives, ever after, as we press forward. How about seeing it this way? Fate is a destination. Continuity is the road that gets you to the destination, and beyond. Queen Elizabeth was always destined to rule. That crown was going to be on her head eventually. That was her fate. To rule. And it happened when she was 27, right there, face to face with her fate, as she sat there, and that physical crown was placed on her head. Her fate, realized, and sealed as it were, in that moment. Continuity, however, was an overarching factor that led her to her fate, the throne, but it also journeyed her beyond the throne. Hear this: Queen Elizabeth embraced the journey to the throne, that was her destiny. And that destiny framed her behavior, and the choices she made, along the path as she lived out those first 27 years. She lived a certain way, and determined not to live a certain way, because of what she knew lay ahead for her. Every step she took, the choices of the steps, were all the result of the conscious choices she made, because of who she was, and where she was going, and her ultimate destination. She was not going to step outside the framework of her definition of herself. Understand? That's continuity. Determining one's road, and not straying to the left or the right. Continuity is a straight line. It's a soul-deep, self-vow and determination of who you're going to be and how you're going to live, as you walk out the pathway of yourself. Continuity is a decision made, firmly and unchanging, about the woman you've decided you're going to become, and never getting off that road, regardless of the challenges, circumstances, and even the hardships and tragedies along the way. It's once having made the decision of you then basing every single decision and choice after that on that same pillar. A straight line. Resolved and never deferring. That's the continuity of you. And how important is the continuity of you? Remember, the Queen had this to say about it. She said, "I think continuity is very important. It is a job for life." And there you have it, sisters. You developing you, and becoming you, is a lifelong journey. It's not finally graduation from university, or starting that business, or marrying your childhood sweetheart and having babies. Though all this may look like the happily ever after end to the means of the journey, it's not. It's nowhere near the end of the journey. The last thread of the tapestry of your life is not sewn or knotted. That would mean you've reached the end. Like Elizabeth being crowned as she sat on the throne was the end of her journey. Yet we all know it wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The straight line that got her to the throne would be the straight line she would walk every day afterwards. This straight line would frame every choice, every decision, every pronouncement she would make in her capacity of queen, until the weaving of the tapestry of her life was done. Remember, she herself said that continuity is very important. It is a job for life. And she lived out the continuity of her own life until the day it was done and over. Sister, the tapestry of your life is still being woven by every choice and decision, good, bad or supposedly indifferent, you make. It's all there, woven by your very own hands. To be hung on the wall at the end of your days. A tapestry of a life lived. Your life lived. Remember, and know this for a truth, you hold the pen to write your own story. The words you pen on that page is in your own handwriting. Then know this as well, and that's, you can trust in the continuity of fate, for it weaves a remarkable tapestry of experiences that shape who you are. Take charge of your destiny, embrace the unknown, and watch as the chapters of your life unfold in extraordinary ways. So, as we journey forward, let us embrace our fate, trust in the continuity of our path, and shape a future filled with purpose, growth, and unexpected wonders. Thanks for tuning into our video, and be sure to stop by for more great content on self-love, healthy relationships, and personal growth. Until next time.